Good morning everyone. We are going to learn lecture 5 of unit 3 under the topic divisibility theory and canonical decompositions in algebra and number theory. Subject code is MA 8551. Today we will see fundamental theorem of arithmetic statement. Every integer n greater than equal to is either a prime or can be expressed as a product of primes in only one way except for the order of factors. So here every integer n values are greater than equal to 2. So 1 is not a prime and we are taking from 2 we get primes, and n greater than equal to 2 is either it is a prime or these numbers can be expressed as a product of primes in only one way with the help of order of factors. So we'll see the proof. First, we will show by strong induction method that n is either a prime or can be expressed as a product of primes. Then we will establish in the first proof, we will prove this by strong induction. N either is a prime or can be expressed as a product of primes. In the second proof, we will establish the uniqueness of such a factorization. Now let us assume let P of n denote the statement that n is prime or can be expressed as a product of primes. So this is the notation which is a product of primes. Now to show that P of n is true for every integer n greater than equal to 2, the basic step is, since 2, what is a basic value here? N greater than equal to 2. So first we have to check for 2. Since 2 is a prime, clearly we can prove P of 2 is true. Yes, 2 is a prime. P of n denote the statement n is a prime. So here 2 is a prime. So P of 2 is true. Now in the next step, that is inductive step, we have to prove for the n values greater than 2. That is for P of 3, P of 4 up to P of k are true. So that is every integer 2 through k either is a prime or can be expressed as a product of primes. So after 2 you have a prime numbers 3, 4 and so on up to k numbers. So for example, if you take a 3 can be expressed as a product of prime. 3 itself is a prime. So here it is true. Now for 4, how to write 4 as a factor? 2 into 2 we can write. 2 is a prime. So 4 can be expressed as a product of primes 2 into 2. For example, 5, you know that it is a prime. Then you can take 6. 6 can be written as 2 into 3. 2 and 3 are prime numbers. So we can prove up to k. So P of 3, P of 4, P of k are true, which can be expressed as a product of primes. Now in the next step, to prove P of k plus 1 is true. This is called strong induction method. So in mathematical induction, we prove for a P of k equal to 1, n equal to 1, then we will prove n equal to 2, then we will prove for nth term. But here we cannot take 1 because that is not a prime. So we have started from 2. So obviously 2 is a prime. So first we said in the basic step 2 is a prime, P of 2 is true. Then in the inductive step, the next values 3, 4 up to k are true because all the numbers can be expressed as a product of primes. Next we will go for strong induction method. That is, we want to prove for P of k plus 1 is true. So if k plus 1 is a prime, then P of k plus 1 is true. We prove this statement by contradiction. So suppose k plus 1 is not a prime. If it is not a prime that means it is composite. So if k plus 1 is composite, I can write k plus 1 is equal to AB, which is a product of two numbers, where some A and B are some integers, where 1 less than A comma B or 1 A comma B are the two integers which will be in between 1 to k plus 1. By inductive hypothesis, A and B either are primes or can be expressed as a product of primes. Yes, if suppose you are having a number like 6, 6 can be written as 2 into 3. So 2 and 3 lies between 1 to k plus 1. So that is a statement here. By the inductive hypothesis, A and B either are primes, yes, 2 and 3 are primes, or can be expressed as a product of primes. In any event, k plus 1 is equal to AB, that can be expressed as a product of two or more primes. Yes, it is true. Thus, P of k plus 1 is also true. Now, by strong induction, we can tell the result holds for every integer n greater than equal to 2. So, up to here, we have proved the first part. First, we have taken the existence of product of primes. Then basic step, we proved P of 2 is prime. Inductive step, we proved P of 3, P of 4 up to P of k are the prime numbers or which can be expressed as a product of prime numbers. Then by strong induction method, we proved P of k plus 1 is also true. Now the second part of the proof, to establish the uniqueness of the factorization. So let n be a composite number with two factorizations into primes. So we define n as the product of primes, two different prime numbers, p1, p2 up to pr, which is equivalent to q1 into q2 and so on up to qs. So these p1, p2, pr are primes, and this side also q1, q2, qs are primes. Now we will show that this r, PR and S are equal to S, and every PI equals to some QJ. So here we have to prove there will be an element. Here we have expressed as a product of primes. Here also we have expressed as a product of primes. Now assume for convenience that R less than equal to S. Suppose what is the I value? The range of I will be 1 to R and range of J will be between 1 to S. And we have P1, P2 up to PR equals Q1, Q2 and so on up to QS. Now we will assume for our convenient R is less than equal to S. Actually we want to prove R equal to S, but here we will take R less than equal to S. Now P1, P2 up to PR is equal to Q1, Q2 up to QS. Now here we can write any one, first product we will take, first prime we will take, P1 divides this element, these primes Q1, Q2 up to QS. Now there will be an element, here these are all a product of primes. So there will be a prime like a QJ in between Q1, Q2 up to QS, which is equivalent to P1. So we know that P1 equal to QJ for some J. Dividing both sides by P1, we get P2 up to PR, P2, P3 up to PR, which is equivalent to Q1, Q2 up to QS. So in between you had QJ, that QJ will cancel with P1. So this is your first step. Now again, dividing by P2 on both sides, P2 will be equivalent to some element QS present in the product of primes. Now we will get P2 will cancel on both sides. So P3 up to PR is the product of primes, which is equivalent to Q1 into Q2 and so on up to QS. Now repeating the same process, since R less than equal to S, continuing like this, we can cancel every P with some QK. So every time when you multiply by some P3, both the sides one q element and one p element will cancel. So finally we repeating this argument p3 and so on up to pr, we get finally we get 1 equal to this side all product of all the elements, product of prime elements will cancel, which will be equivalent to a product of q values. Some q values will present here this side. So 1 equal to a product of primes. But this is a contradiction to our assumption. 1, it is not a product of prime. First of all, 1 is not a prime. So this is a contradiction because we have taken r less than equal to s. Similarly, if r is greater than s, if you take arguing with q instead of p's. So in the previous step, we have seen we cancelled, we took a p divides the product of q's. Now I will take q divides, that is q1 divides product of p's. So doing with the q divides with the p, every time when you repeat this process, all q values will cancel. So we get, again we will get a contradiction by taking r greater than s. So hence we get r equal to s is true. Hence the primes p1 into p1 comma p2 and so on up to pr are the same as q1 comma q2 and so on up to qs in same order. Thus factorization of n is unique except for the order in which primes are written. Hence the proof, we have proved the first part and second part with the help of strong induction method. Next we will see canonical decomposition definition. The canonical decomposition of a positive integer n is of the form p1 power alpha 1 into p2 power alpha 2 into p3 power alpha 3 and so on up to pk power alpha k. So p1, p2, p3, pk are primes. This is the power of the prime, where p1, p2, pk are distinct primes with p1 will be less than p2, less than and so on up to pk. Alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha k are positive integers. And note, if a is equal to p1 power alpha 1, p2 power alpha 2, p3 power alpha 3 up to pk power alpha k are the canonical decomposition of a and b, then we write GCD of a comma b is equal to nothing but p1 power minimum of alpha 1 comma beta 1 into p2 power minimum of alpha 2 comma beta 2, p3 power minimum of alpha 3 comma beta 3 and so on up to pk power minimum of alpha k comma beta k. So we have to find out p1 and we are comparing from a element. We can write p1 power alpha 1, p2 power alpha 2 and so on up to pk power alpha k. And for b element, same way we will write p1 power alpha beta 1, p2 power beta 2, p3 power beta 3, so on up to pk power beta k. We should compare the powers. p1 power alpha 1 and p1 power beta 1, we should take the minimum value, that will be the GCD of a comma b. So we'll see some problems based on canonical decomposition. First problem, find the canonical decompositions of first one 999. Solution, the canonical decomposition of 999, first of all we have to factorize. So this is an odd number, it is not possible by 2. So always we do by prime numbers with the lowest with the least number. So here 2 is not possible. I am taking 3. 333 times 999. Again we can do by 3. 111. So this is divisible by 3 and finally we get 37, which is a prime number. We cannot take any other primes. So we have to stop here. Now this can be written as all the factors, you write it in powers. 999 can be written as 3 into 3 into 3 into 27. 3 powers, we can write it as 3 power 3 into 37 power 1. So this is the canonical decomposition of 999. Now second problem, 1024. So here I am taking 1024 is an even number. I can start from 2. So 2 times of 512 is 1024. Again by 2 when you take 256 of 2 is 512. Then 2 times of 128 we write 256. Then 2 times of 64 we write 128. Then 2 times of 32 64. Again continuing the same process, it is divisible by 2. So 32 can be written as 2 power 5, or you can continue the factorization until you get the last prime. And finally, taking all the 2 values, here totally you have 5 multiples of 2 and here 2 power 5. So 2 power 5 into 32. 32 can be written as 2 power 5. Add the power, 2 is a prime and here also 2 is a prime. The powers can be added. We get 2 power 10. So this is the canonical decomposition of 1024. Next we will see 2520. So like a factorization, when you do, you are able to write the the power of primes. P1 it is 2 power 3, then 3 power 3 into 7 you will get. So this is the canonical decomposition of 2520. Note, we can use canonical decompositions to find GCD of two positive integers. So this is a application of canonical decompositions. This is very simple to find GCD of two positive numbers. Second problem, find the GCD of 414 and 662 using canonical decompositions. So here we have to find GCD of 414, 662. Now we will find out the factors. 414, 2 times of 207, 414. Then this is divisible by, this is an odd number, so we cannot take 2. And now it is, you can divide by 3. So 3 times of 69 is 207. Again you 3 you take, you get 23 times. So we got these primes. Then 662. You can divide by 2. It is 331. Now we will get, first we find the canonical decompositions, that is 414 can be written as 2 into 2 3 square into 23. Then 662 can be written as 2 into 331. Now it is of the form something like we are finding a GCD of A. A is here 414, B is 662. So A has a product of primes, P1 power alpha 1. Alpha 1 is 1. And P2 power alpha 2 and P3, 23 power 1. Same way here, P1 power alpha 1 power 1, 331 power 1. Now these 3 square, 23, 331 are not common. So which is a common element among two elements, 2 and 2. So 2 power 1, here also 2 power 1. Which is the minimum power? Only the minimum power we have to take. So the minimum power is 1. So what is my answer? The GCD of 414, 602 is 2. So conclusion, here in this lecture we have seen fundamental theorem of arithmetic, which is very important, and canonical decomposition, then canonical decomposition problems. So all these concepts are very important when you apply, when you find GCD of two elements. Thank you, students.